Okay, and we're back today. We're on our studios at 24 West 57th. This is Dr. Gonzalez. This is the Life Mod podcast show with Dr. Gonzalez, and we're very excited to be back again. We have one of our guests that we've had a couple of times in the past podcasts, and he's been pretty famous. People have been requesting him back. And so we have Mr. Chauncey Hayden.
Your problem child?
That's right. He's our problem child we want to get rid of, right. But we can't. No, but I think for those of you who've been following our podcast, you guys know that Chauncey has been sort of instrumental in our program. He's now been a big player in what we're doing and where we're going with LifeMod. He did join LifeMod probably, a year?
About a year ago, I'd say, maybe a year and a few months.
Yep. In our last podcast, we talked about how you've lost weight, and you were, we did the whole sequence that we do with people who join LifeMod, and you ended up, we found out that you had some testosterone deficiencies. We talked about that, and you've been on that, right?
Yeah. There was a couple of deficiencies. Vitamin D was another one. Sugar levels were a little too high. Had a couple of things that needed addressing that we've addressed and have been doing great over the last year and a half. Just simple things. Even getting on a treadmill for a half hour every other day will make enormous differences in your blood results.
Right.
Not drinking things like soda. Eliminating soda, I think, is one of the biggest things. Just making alterations to your life.
Well, can we talk a little bit before we get into today's topic, by the way, which is going to be very exciting. The topic today is going to be, what happens when you feel that you've fallen off the program, and I have my own thoughts on that, but for those of you who are listening, Chauncey's going to talk about his personal experience with that as a member, and what he thinks has happened and how he felt when he felt like he had fallen off. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit about, because I know on our last podcast that we did with you, where you were in demand again. Remember, they want you back.
Yes.
When we talked about how you had joined LifeMod. We did the blood work. We gave you, some of we told you some of your deficiencies. One of the things that we pride ourselves in LifeMod is that we talk about knowing thyself, right? Knowing yourself. And that I've always said this, we are a program. I challenge anyone out there to go to any other program and find out as much about themselves as you will find out with LifeMod. It's incredible, right? You not only from your all the questions that we asked you, all the questionnaire, like do you live to eat or eat to live, or what time you wake up in the morning, all that, which was surprising, you said to you. We also did the blood work, and the blood work was not just your blood type, but your hormone levels, your testosterone levels, and your estrogen levels, and your vitamin levels, and your cholesterol levels, and your sugars, and all that. 3 months later, we redid your labs after we did the LifeMod program for you. And tell us a little bit about I know the labs, and I know how surprised I was, but I wasn't really, because the program works. But tell us what you thought about your labs when you redid them.
It was amazing how fast they can turn around. I think the most important thing is not to panic. You get bad labs back, everything's fixable, and in most cases, it's nutrition based. And if what I found is, following your advice, following the recommendation by your consultant, that it only took a very short period of time, we're talking weeks, to start to see a change in those labs. Even modest changes in your lifestyle will make a big difference in your next labs. If you go back and have them done 3 months later, you'll see dramatic changes. And again, it goes back to just following some of the basic rules of LifeMod, sticking to the things that are healthy to eat that fit my blood type. Perfect. I think that was very important. That staying on the supplement program, making sure that you get up and move, that you're not just laying on the couch all day. Those basic things, and I'm not talking training for the Olympics. Just basic, adding more vegetables to your diet. Eliminating alcohol intake, not all, but some. You don't want to you don't overdo it. A glass of wine a day
Right.
is fine with me, and with dinner. Those kind of changes.
So modifying your life.
Modifying your life.
So,
Yep.
and then this is beautiful because really that's what we do, but we don't generalize the modification of your life. Hence the name, really, if you think about it, Life Mod
Right.
stands for lifestyle modification. We removed style, we removed ification, I guess.
Right.
We put them together and now we created Life Mod. But this is why this program is different than any other program, because we don't tell you you have to eat this or you have to not eat that or you have to do that and you have to. We don't do that. What we do is we specialize, formalize a program that's specific to you, and then we say we attack the concept of every single day when you wake up, changing your little habits and your lifestyle. And most of our members, by the way, first of all, I have to say, we've had so many members recently. Now we have an audience today, by the way. Ro's in the audience.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi, how you doing, Ro? True or not, Ro, our members recently have really had an amazing response, right? From your own personal experience, you've lost some weight.
I've lost 40 pounds.
40
yes.
pounds on the program. Yeah, that was a little bell that chimed
That was
there.
a little congratulatory bell.
We don't have a lot of stuff in our studio for this, but this is what this works. But, you're just one of our members recently who've come up. This week, I think we had like 4 or 5 members who've lost more than 30 pounds. And our program isn't just to lose weight. We have people in our program who want to gain weight, who want to just get healthier, who want more sex, who want to live longer, who want to have more energy. These are the common reasons why people.
I'm all the above.
Yeah, you're all the above. We're not going to get into your sex life, Chauncey, for that.
That's another show.
Just Google his name. But we're in the business of getting people healthier, and we do it by trying to change your lifestyle habits. And if you come to me and you say, and if I told you, I'm going to change your life by changing your habits, you'd say no way, right? Because you have habits that you've had for years.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
Your whole life, really.
Yeah, things that become second nature to you that aren't necessarily good for you. I think everyone does.
Right.
And it's not always easy breaking those habits, but like anything else, you can turn those bad habits into good habits.
Right.
And that's, I think, the goal is to take all those things that you do that are bad for you and make it so the things that are good for you become second nature.
Right, and it wasn't hard for you to do that because we introduced those changes very slowly, right?
Yeah, and they're not dramatic. Like I said, it's not like you're training for the Olympics.
Right.
They're things that are easy to do.
Okay.
Which,
Good. I'm glad because we want to make sure that everybody out there understands what sort of how it is that we really revolutionize people's health and life. And so, having said all this, because I wanted to get like a nice baseline, let's talk about now the topic of falling off.
Good segue.
Yeah, good segue. Did you like that?
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I didn't know how I was going to incorporate that.
Yeah, you did it very well.
Okay, good, thanks. But so we're trying to now talk about how when you've been in our program for about 8 months and 9 months, everyone starts to feel like, we've kind of hit the wall. And the holidays, now it's for those of us, obviously, who are listening today, it's live. We're the beginning of March. Spring is on its way. We've had a horrible winter here in the Northeast. For those of you who are not from the area, we've had snow almost every day.
Yeah, and not just cold, Arctic
cold.
Yeah.
In fact, this is I can't believe I'm going to say this, but why not? Right? This is a podcast. This is what we do. It's live. I just heard that there's Arctic owls in Brooklyn. Seriously.
that are following the Arctic blast.
They've never seen ever in the history of any. They're
Arctic
like now
owls.
nesting Arctic owls in Brooklyn.
I heard there was a polar bear in Jersey City.
Really?
Yes. And his name is Chauncey Hayden.
Yeah, Chauncey Hayden. and this is who we're interviewing today. I love it. But anyway, all right. So
Yes.
speaking of this, so we're trying, the winter's here. People haven't been out exercising. People, we just came off the holidays. So a lot of people are feeling like they fell off the wagon. Like they need to get back on track.
Yeah.
So I guess what I wanted to do today was to try to have you talk to people about your experience with that and how you dealt with it, and how supportive LifeMod was in that process for you, and why it's not that hard to get back on track with the LifeMod program. I know there's a lot of questions here.
No, but it's all good points, and I think you made a great point about the
polar bears?
about the polar bears, the extremely cold winter, because especially if you're an apartment dweller, you find yourself almost hibernating. You don't get out as much. You're in your apartment all the time, and you're moving less. You're eating more and moving less. And let's face it, it can get very depressing. You can get depressed in the winter. I don't think that's a stretch. As a doctor, I'm sure you see patients all the time that, cold weather, the winter blues, I guess
Right,
they call
absolutely.
it. Yeah. And I think one of the first things that suffer from that is your workout and your diet routine. And I found that to be a problem with me. I get too cozy laying in bed watching movies. It's too easy to order out and have Chinese food come. And one day leads to another, and before you know it, 4 or 5 days, maybe a week has gone by, and you are falling off the program. You're slipping. And I guess the big question is, how do you stop the bleeding? How do you stop the slipping? Because it can run wild, right? And next thing you know, you're giving up, or you're saying, "Oh, I failed at this." And there's got to be a way of approaching that on a clinical level that keeps you from feeling that way, to stop it
Right.
before it gets out of hand.
Right.
That's what I guess my question to you is, how do you stop it?
Yeah. So, and we're going to be talking personally about your own experience, but this is very exciting because we always talk about the human design, obviously, with LifeMod. And you were just talking about how, we order out and we're cozy inside,
Yeah.
and, we don't go anywhere, and it's cold outside. And that's completely anti or against our human design, right? Our human design has been, you get up in the cold or in the hot or in the heat, and you hunt your food and you work for it. And so, look, I'm not going to tell you that it's not normal for, including myself. You don't want to go outside and exercise. You don't really want to do anything. It's been brutal here, right?
Yeah.
But think about this concept. If you are indoors and you're eating constantly and you're feeling like you're falling off the wagon, at what point did you think that you needed to do something about that, or did you?
It comes on gradually, and you just start feeling that feeling of wellness, that high you get with LifeMod when you start the program, and that high comes fast, and it really is like a high. It's the opposite. You get a sense that you're losing that feeling. That thing that you achieved that really keeps you going and pumped up starts to vanish, and I think you start to feel that lack of whatever that was, when you first started the program, and
that newness.
It creeps up on you. And the next thing you know, you're laying in bed, and you just don't feel the same. You don't feel like you felt coming here and doing the things that you have people do. For me, it just crept up on me, and I forced myself to actually come to the gym and get on a treadmill.
Did it help that we were on you?
Yeah, it does, because I think and that was my next point, I think one of the things that LifeMod does that's so great is your counseling program, where you don't let people really slip. You're following up with them. I think with a lot of diets and a lot of the Weight Watchers out there, they tell you what to eat, they send you the food, and then you're off the charts. Like, whatever you do, you do. You don't let people really get too far away from LifeMod.
Right.
You're constantly reevaluating people, and I think that kind of sets them back on track. I know with me it does. I don't think 2 weeks go by where I don't get a call from you or one of your consultants to say, are you coming in for an appointment? Have you been doing this? And it's almost like you're kind of being, not that you're scolded, but you definitely feel like the Dr. Gonzalez LifeMod watchful eye is upon you. And it kind of got me back on track again. I felt like there's a sense of membership, closeness within the program,
right,
that doesn't let you, even the dinner with the doc that you have, it's once a month. get you back on track.
Right. So for those of you, first of all, we're watching you.
Now, I Big Brother, I know.
When you join LifeMod, that's what happens. No, but our philosophy, and I have a question for you, because this
Sure.
is the first time actually that I've heard this from you, even though you're a member. I'm wondering that I'm wondering if your experience of feeling like you're falling off a program, was this different? Is it different with LifeMod than it was with any other program that you've tried in the past, or was it that same feeling? Because one of the things that we pride ourselves in LifeMod is that, you know, we want you to get to a point where we don't have to call you.
Right.
We're not watching you really.
Right.
But you've now changed your own habits in your own life, and then you don't really need us.
Well, you know, I think it's human nature. I don't think it's specifically with LifeMod. I think it's with any program, anything that's healthy in general. I mean, we all get addicted to periods of comfort food or sugars or, you know, things that aren't very healthy for us. I think it's human nature. No matter what we do in life, no matter what program we're on, what our diet is, I don't think it matters. It's human nature to fall off the wagon. It's how you get back on the wagon and how difficult it is to get back on. I think with LifeMod, it's easy to get back on.
That's my
Yeah, it's easier to get back on. But I think it's because even though I know ultimately at the end of the day you don't want to have to harass people and follow them, I think it's nice to know that you can come here
Right.
to kind of get back on track.
or log into your computer and
Right.
do Skype. with-
Yeah, you can do a Skype. Yeah, I think that's important. And again, at the end of the day, it's really not that hard to follow. It's not hard at all, actually. It's just getting that motivation, that kind word to say, hey, listen, remember, I'll give you an example. I think the best thing that you did when I came here was that 10-point printout.
Yep, the
of the
worksheet.
10. Yeah, what did you call it?
The LifeMod worksheet.
The worksheet.
Yep.
Yeah, do you know I have that?
Chauncey Hayden worksheet.
It's I have it hanging on my refrigerator, and I'll tell you, it's great to go back to that and just reread it, because even that helps get you back on track.
Well, one of the things we do that's I keep saying one of the things because I think that there's like now 100 things that we've counted on the podcast shows. Every time I see every time I say the one thing we do different, when you add them up, there's like 100,000 things that we do completely different than any other program. But one of the things we pride ourselves in is that we have to see you every 2 weeks. And if it's not live, we do Skype, by the way. So those of you who don't know, we're Skyping people all over, the country. But we would like to see you every 2 weeks so that we can tweak whatever you've done the last 2 weeks that has worked. We reinforce that, or we change whatever is not working. So that worksheet that you got and that you get, we give it to you every 2 weeks, every time that we have a visit. We tweak it a little bit and we give you a new worksheet.
Yeah.
This is why this program works, because we're not telling you what to eat that's not sustainable. Every other program you go to change your life, they give you some crazy, irrational things to do. And
impossible to do long term.
yeah, impossible. That's what we call the issue of sustainability with LifeMod. We want you to be
Yes.
sustainable, and the changes that we've given you hopefully are sustainable, and we found that they really are.
That's a great word. I think that sums up this whole show today. Sustainability.
Yep.
How do you sustain? I guess that's what I'm talking about.
Can I give you a really good example?
Yes,
of that?
yes.
The Atkins diet. I know we've talked about it here.
Low carb.
And I'm not totally against it. So for those of you who love Atkins, or if those of you who are listening out there who are Atkins, please don't come after me. I'm not telling you. I'm going to tell you what the problem is with the Atkins diet, the low carb. It works for everyone. If you join Atkins and you follow their meal plan, you're going to lose a lot of weight. You're probably going to lose weight. What's happening from a metabolic medical standpoint is that you're going into ketosis and you're eating up all of your glycogen stores and all your fat stores. You will lose weight. But the problem is that you will gain it back because of the issue of sustainability. Because you cannot, we're human, right? And we live in America, and we cannot live from now until we die eating no carbs.
Right.
Because that's just not sustainable.
That's
Our
right.
program is sustainable because we teach you how to be able to eat whatever you want, but do it in a way that's healthy and LifeMod approved.
That's it. That's that answers the question. You said, what's the difference between falling off the wagon with other programs and us? I think that just summed it up. You're right. With the Atkinsons, you're definitely going to fall off the wagon because you can't live without
With
carbs.
Atkinsons?
I'm sorry.
Atkins.
Atkins. I said. Oh, did I say it? I'm sorry. Atkins. You can't live without carbs, and there are other programs that are very unsustainable too. You know, it's just either it's not just simply not enough food. You're basically starving yourself,
Right.
And you. Not only are you going to fall off the wagon, but you're going to gouge.
We're like a paleo diet. Think about it. That's a
Yeah.
huge one right now, right? Just meat. That's all you can eat.
Yeah, no,
I mean, really.
it has to be a balance, a balance. And honestly, I think that's what LifeMod is. It's such a great balance. You don't feel deprived of anything, you know. You don't. You're just living a healthier life. You're not depriving anything out of your life.
Wow. Well, with that, Chauncey, I think that's a perfect way to end this podcast.
That was a good segue for me, right?
Yeah, that's right.
We're both hitting the ball out of the park with
we
segues.
are. The issue of sustainability
Yes.
and the issue of non-deprivation with LifeMod. And
There you go.
the issue of being living in a world that's realistic.
Yes.
And we teach you that at LifeMod. So thank you for coming again. I know that,
Always a pleasure.
Oh, yeah, I know it is. And I know that we're going to get a lot of people calling.
Your
emailing,
beautiful New York
and-
City studio.
Thank you very
it's
much.
absolutely amazing.
You guys have to come and check us out.
Yes.
The way you get a hold of us is 1-855-710-5433, or you can look us up on our website, www.lifemod.com. We do encourage emails, questions, and we're going to start doing a live show where we're going to take in callers, actually, which is a little scary, but I think it's going to be pretty exciting. So again, thank you very much, Chauncey, for coming today.
Anytime.